2019. So let's watch this video. This is
devices for better or worse, right? What does this give the kids, and then obviously what's the parents' motivation to give it to them?
Yeah, so obviously child obesity in the U.S. and countries around the world is a huge problem. And if you look at tech companies today, they're actually exacerbating the problem. They want kids to.
So basically, look at what CEO of Fitbit talked. Isn't it that we are talking about in our earlier videos? Being a fitness and activity tracker, we have a bigger duty for the society as well. Of course, that gives us a good business model for Fitbit and for us. The CEO, co-founder of Fitbit, is talking about child obesity. That is a bigger problem that is available out there. And that is why in our mission statement, Vita's mission statement, we have promised to do fitness and activity trackers for all ages and for all different levels of abilities. So we got to do different products for different age group. That is why Vita did a product for the kids as well. Let's continue.
They want kids to become more addicted, spend more time on their screens, and our goal is actually to use technology to do the opposite. Get kids off the screen and more active in their daily lives, and that's really important. And enlisting the whole family for that goal is what we're trying to do with Vita.
What are the security?
So now look at that. Try to define our industry a little bit more carefully. I'll make some statements. We'll argue about that in the next discussion. Mobile phones were there in the market without much trouble as a separate business, and that were going well. Mobile phones. Then the step counters came in. Companies who are in the business of activity and fitness trackers came in. So while the mobile phone market was going on very well, activity and the fitness trackers came in separately, and those two would have been two different markets to run separately. But the interesting situation started, or the confusion started, the challenges started when mobile companies try to develop something in between. They decided not to continue to have the same product called mobile phone. There was another product category called fitness and activity trackers, but the mobile phones decided to develop something in between. A hybrid model of a mobile phone, hybrid model of a fitness and activity tracker, which is the smartwatches. So if you go to the deep dive, we have shown you how the smartwatches market is going to grow. Read the KYI, know your industry. We have told you the bigger portion of the future sales on the wearables will come from the smart watches. So this is where now the problem is. This is where the problem for companies like us, because we are a fitness and active tracking company. We don't have a mobile phone company available for us. But look at Apple. They have a mobile phone company available. When they do a smart watch, which can count your steps, which can count the distance, which can count the calories burned, they will have an added advantage there, because they can integrate seamlessly between the smartwatch and the mobile phone, which we can't. So what the CEO and co-founder of Fitbit talking about is something very interesting. He says the kids are there at home looking at the screen due to technology. What is that technology? Kids are there at home without getting involved in any activities due to the technology. That is the mobile phones. That's the mobile phones. So kids are there at home with that technology. He says he will use his technology, which is the fitness and active trackers, to take the kids out from that technology by using the new technology of fitness and active trackers. So we, being a company, Vita, we got to come up with our smart watch. But the problem is how we are going to manage the issue of not having our own mobile company. Let's continue.
What are the security concerns around there? Because I mean, I have a kid. If she were to get of age and she tells me she wants to put a Fitbit on her wrist, how do you keep her safe and her data safe?
Yeah, so
Okay, so if you look at our first video, we were talking about 6 different aspects of this business. We were talking about there are 6 different aspects of the business. One is to reduce the obesity levels of the country, obesity levels of the world. We said this is a priority that we need to discuss about. One different aspect of the business. And the physical equipment needs to look attractive, look nice is another aspect of the business. And another aspect that we discussed there was the data. We collect so much of data, not only from the kids ones, but from all the fitness and active trackers. We collect so much of data about individuals, people in which country walks most, people from which country walks faster, higher distance. Data security becomes a problem. We are complaining to people that they sold data to someone else. Well, the same thing could happen to us. Look at slightly a different point from the same video.
So yeah, disappointing fourth quarter earnings, according to Wall Street. Yeah, disappointing guidance. One of the things that analysts have said is that there's an opportunity here for medical and healthcare applications. How far out are those, and how are you focusing on that?
We're taking concrete steps to build our healthcare business. We just made an acquisition of a company based out of spun out of MIT Media Lab called Swine Health, which combines AI, data, and human coaching to deliver really incredible health outcomes around diabetes management and hypertension. So I think that demonstrates our commitment to really grow.
So I think he's talking about something interesting now. He's talking about the poor performance in the last quarter, which is very much similar to our situation. We have 1% net profit margin, so we got to see how Fitbit is managing and how it will have an impact to us. Secondly, we got to look at how, as an organization, we will go into the next level. Look at the deep dive. We said we cannot define ourselves as electronic appliances. We cannot be in the in-brush shop. That we got to move ourselves to be a healthcare technological company. So please go to the deep dive, read that part from the deep dive. That will be important for you to know how we should play the game right. So let me continue the same discussion. Let me continue the same discussion with a slightly different video. Well, however, from the same gentleman, we'll move on to a slightly different video now.
Fashion, etc. So we've made our devices a lot more fashionable. This is our sex device.
Yeah, I think that's popular.
Which is a bracelet.
Yeah, and I think that necklace is going to be very popular.
As well.
But how can you tell it's a necklace? It's confusing, just a bit.
Well, it goes around your neck.
Yeah, there's
no, I thought it was on your neck.
There's a chain, etc.
What kind of improvements have you made in this technology? You talked about the VO2, but battery life, are there other improvements in this?
Yeah, there's been extensions in battery life. Flex 2 is actually now swim proof, so you can wear it swimming. It counts your laps, so that's a big step forward.
This one or the other one?
This one right there.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can take this tracker market. So we've succeeded pretty well over the years.
And you're facing competition from companies like Apple. How do you sort of differentiate Fitbit?
Yeah, so
it's competitive.
It's a very good question. I mean, we've been pioneers in this category. We've been around for 9 years. We have tens of millions of users. So that huge user community actually creates a giant network effect. People compete with friends and family, who's walked the most steps, etc. And so that's allowed us to grow our user base pretty rapidly. The other thing is, with these products out here, we have a wide range of products.
Philosophically, when you look at, frankly, the technology as an accessory, I know a lot of people thought the Apple Watch was taking away one of our few choices every day. How do you conceive of the design and how it might play into somebody's sartorial choice?
Look, I think one of the reasons for success is that we realize there's no one-size-fits-all for these devices. People have a lot of different preferences.
Right. So if you look at
size,
what
style,
was
fashion.
given in that video, just 2 things. So let me highlight those 2 things and end this video. He was talking about the design. That is something very critical. You are selling 2 different equipments. One you are selling is a physical device, other one is the software. You got to master both. But the capabilities of doing those 2 different things are very much different as well. For your designing of the equipment, you got to have someone who is experienced in the fashion industry, accessory industry. For the software part, you got to have someone who is intelligent in the information technology. So he's talking about both aspects of it. Then there was an interesting question: how will you differentiate yourself from Apple? How will you differentiate yourself from Apple? And he was talking about the market share. He gave an interesting answer. So you can watch the video later. There'll be other videos coming in related to the same thing. But he gave an interesting answer. He said, we are the pioneers in this. But look at our market share, Vita's market share again. Go through the deep dive again. We are strong when we look at wearable technology, excluding smartwatches. But when you compare our market share of wearable technology, including smartwatches, we are not doing well. So this market comparison of including and excluding smartwatches is a manipulation. We got to include the smartwatch as well because that's the other product available to give the same benefit. So we have a big challenge now being our Vita. We have a big challenge. We have a net profit of just 1%. Our gearing is less, which is a good thing. But the share price impact is an additional trouble that is coming to us from the last year, 2017 actually. Almost last year, we had the beginning of 2019. And how will you win the challenge of smartwatches? So this is where we are. So don't look at only Fitbit. In our course, we are looking at 3 different companies compared to us. The first one, our first choice had been Fitbit. That's why we are talking about in the earlier video. So please don't forget to send an email to info@nanaska.com to join for the next live chat with us. Thank you.